What's it like playing in the Super Bowl?
It's, leading up to it is the big thing. But once you get in the game, I mean, you realize that it's a big game. But, I mean, you got your assignments. You got guys across from you, Ronnie Lott and Romanowski.
Right.
Dwayne Board, Fred Dean, and all those guys that you have to block. But it's, because that's what you work for. I mean, it's one of those things where, if you don't make the playoffs when you start working out and you say, okay, from January to July, I'm going to bust it. So when July rolls around, we go to camp. And then now we can win and hopefully get to the playoffs in the Super Bowl. So it's one of those things that's your goal as a team. I mean, because it is a team sport. That's the first and foremost thing you're thinking about is let's get to the playoffs in the Super Bowl. So to get a chance to play into it was unbelievable. I mean, it's an experience. And, of course, the media exposure now compared to back then, it doesn't compare, but still, it was huge. I mean, we played the one in Pontiac, and then we played in Miami in 23, and it was just – it's unbelievable because there's 2 teams left.
That's it.
Everybody's home either at the game or home, Super Bowl parties watching the game. So you got everybody watching, and it's quite a thrill.
It's almost like Monday Night Football, but bigger.
It is bigger, and it's much earlier, so you don't get sleepy at halftime.
Really? Do you get sleepy?
Yeah, I mean, not that I get sleepy, but especially when you play on the East Coast. I loved Monday night because you were rewarded for doing well, but I didn't like Monday night because you started at 9 o'clock. I mean, I'm usually in bed by 10:30, up early in the morning. So, but no, Monday night, there's no way you're going to fall. Well, I shouldn't say that. We had a guy fall asleep at halftime in the Astrodome. So I can't say that you don't fall asleep. A rookie defensive lineman fell asleep as we're making adjustments at halftime. And I just said, how can you do that? It was a great game. You got the adrenaline flowing. I guess he was just a little too relaxed.
Is it different? Is it different at the? Well, I know we all know it is. When the coach comes in at halftime and you, like you say, you make your adjustments. The time that you have within, the half. In high school when we'd come in, the coach came in yelling and screaming and whatnot. But then I can imagine though when you get to the college level, the professional level, you come in, you say, okay, we got to do this, we got to do that.
They're screaming.
Oh, are they still? Are they still?
They are at times. I mean, it just depends. But the great thing about it, the thing I love, is I don't like lapses of time where you just sit. College, you have, 20, 25 minutes. Pros, you get in, you readjust your stuff, adjustments, then you're ready to go back out. You don't have a whole lot of time, which I love, because it does. In college, you sit there for 20 minutes, you get all stiff, and even though you're young, you still got to in pros, man, you get in there, you already have the locker room split up. So offense here, defense, you make adjustments, they move the partition, you come back, and then you're gone. So that's what I like, and it's just like the 1 o'clock game. I talked about Monday night, 1 o'clock. You wake up, pregame meal, you go, you get dressed, and you play. And I love getting to it. I don't like, and that was one of the things about the Super Bowls. First of all, you had 2 weeks.
Right. I was going to ask about that.
Then you get to Sunday of the game. It's a 6:30 game.
Right.
So you have game plan in the can. You're ready to go. You've watched tape 20 times over. You could, okay, they're going to do this on that play, and then you get to game day. Okay, and it's like, okay, it's 9 in the morning, 10 in the morning, it's noon, okay, it's 1 o'clock, it's 2, and it feels like you're another week in that one day, and then finally, it's a 6:30 start. But not that I'm impatient or anything, but I just like getting out and playing, But yeah, but it is Super Bowl, and it was unbelievable.
Well, you have many accomplishments, awards, NFL Man of the Year award. You think you won 11 times in a Pro Bowl. At the time, the greatest number for any offensive tackle or any offensive lineman, offense and defense, or any offensive lineman at that time?
At the time, I think there might have been one other that was more than 11 times for anybody. Yeah. So, and now you have several that are 12, 14. Merlin Olsen, Bruce Matthews, 14, and there's I think a couple other guys that are 12. So
incredible accomplishments throughout. What is your in football, and then we'll ask outside of football because we talked about baseball and life. What is your greatest accomplishment as a football player, NFL football player?
Well, I think besides the wins and stuff is that I was there, after my college career, not playing a whole lot, is that I was there in and out, Sunday in and out for the guys. I mean, I think the durability after not playing a whole lot in college, missed my first game my 11th year. So I think the fact that, I was blessed to stay healthy even though at times you're banged up, but to be able to play effectively every Sunday while you're out there. And I guess on a personal level, that would have to be it. Of course, on a team level, anytime you get to play a playoff game at home for your fans, to me that was a thrill. Both years we went to the Super Bowl, we got home field advantage. So
That's
we
right.
got to play, we got to bye, and we got to play the first round at home and then the AFC Championship game at home. And to me, there's no greater way to reward your fans for the support and the craziness they had at the Jungle than to give them, you know, an AFC Championship game at home. So that was pretty cool to do that.
What was it like playing Chris Collinsworth? You ever keep in touch with him?
Yeah, I see him all the time. We do some things together. He's still there in Cincinnati. Yeah.
He is. You had a brief stint with ESPN. I was excited to see you on air there. I mean, at that national level. I know you do some stuff at the local level still. Are you still on television? You cover the Cincinnati Bengals?
I do the preseason games. Basically, I went into broadcasting for 7 years after I retired. I was an analyst.
Right.
The first year, I did a couple games with CBS my first year out, but then Fox took over, and I was with Fox. Did some NFL, did some college, and then my last job was with ESPN. And I basically had a contract, but I left ESPN to watch my son play college. I knew if I continued to stay in broadcasting, I wouldn't be able to watch him, and I didn't want to miss that. So I actually left his senior year in high school, and I coached full-time as a varsity line coach. And then when he went to college, I didn't go back and got to watch every one of his games in 4 years that he started.
Wow.
So, but I just finished my 12th year doing the Bengal preseason games on TV, and just do a lot of interview stuff. And it's really interesting you bring that up because the Hall of Fame, we have this nice little program called fanschoice.com.
Okay.
We've entered into a partnership with Van Heusen, and all of us Hall of Famers have endorsed this to give the fans a chance to voice their opinion on who should be in the class of 2010. So one of the things I just did before I came down to San Antonio, I spent a whole day up at ESPN. I hadn't been there in 10 years, and the place has exploded, huge. And what I did, what they call the car wash, you go from show to show to show, and I spent about a half an hour with the guy that was my producer when I was up there working. And so it was great seeing him. I kind of communicated with him, but he said, well, what are you doing now? And so I just got an email, and we're going to talk. And I don't know, we'll see if that's something that I want to get back into. Hopefully they have some room for an old guy. I don't know. We'll just kind of see.
I think you would do great. The intensity level that you brought to the game. There's a picture on if you go on the website, if you go on Google and you Google up Anthony Muñoz, what you get are a few pictures, of course, through Wikipedia and whatnot. And one of them is where you just stand and it's that look that made you great. And it's a great picture of you. And that intensity you took it. I thought you did a good job as an analyst, personally.
Well, thank you.
I enjoy watching those guys. Chris Berman, of course, my favorite. Tom Jackson, my next favorite. Those two guys work great together, and the humility between them. And that's one of the things that we'll move into just quickly. And I don't.